Huh? What? We just had some crazy stuff go down in Major League Baseball. The offseason, it simmered down a little bit, but tonight they put the heat on high. They threw some oil in there. It's smoking hot right now, the stove. You saw the title of the video. You know what we're going to be talking about today. Mookie Betts, one of the top 5 players in baseball, arguably a top 3, arguably a top 2, has been traded from the Boston Red Sox to the Los Angeles Dodgers in a huge blockbuster trade. But wait, there is more. David Price from the Red Sox also going over to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Oh, and there's a third team that's involved. The Minnesota Twins are also getting in on this. They get Kenta Maeda from the Dodgers. Now you might be wondering, what did the Red Sox get back? Well, they're getting Alex Verdugo from the Dodgers back, and they're getting Brusdar, Graterol from the Twins. The Dodgers then went out and made another trade, trading Jock Peterson to the Los Angeles Angels, a little in-state trade for Luis Rengifo, an infielder. There's a lot of stuff that went on. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Mookie trade for the majority of this video because this isn't something that happens often. You don't see a top 5 player in baseball just get traded like that. There's a lot to talk about with this trade. There's a lot to decompress, a lot to dive into. So before I do get going into that, make sure you guys do leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. It's a great way to support the channel. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Give me your thoughts and opinions on this trade. Did the Red Sox win? Did the Dodgers win? Did the Twins win? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. That's where you get my instant, immediate reaction. And if you need any tickets to any sporting events, make sure to head on over to SeatGeek. Use the code Giraffe. Save yourself $20 off your first purchase. Mookie Betts, top 5 player in the league, without a doubt, is changing leagues. He's gone from the Boston Red Sox on the East Coast all the way out west to the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team that really didn't need much help offensively. One of the best teams in baseball. Yes, they got knocked down in the NLDS by the Nationals last year, but we all know how good this Dodgers team can be. I mean, back-to-back World Series in the years before. They always win the National League West. It feels like they win 100+ games. They just have an absolutely loaded team, and it's going to possibly be getting even better by adding Mookie Betts and David Price. Like, how are they doing this? I can tell you how. I mean, they're a great organization. They have a deep farm system. They have a lot of talent. They can afford to give up good players like Alex Verdugo, like Kenta Maeda, in order to get these big-name stars into their team, because that's what they want to do to win. And this is a move for the Dodgers right now that just screams win now. I mean, we knew they weren't rebuilding or anything like that, so that was kind of stupid of me to say. But this is like, hey, we're winning the World Series this year. We don't care what it takes. Don't care how much money we have to pay. Doesn't matter what we have to give up. We're getting the best players possible on this team. So Mookie Betts as a player, you're adding a top 5 player without a doubt in Major League Baseball to a lineup that already has another top 5 player in baseball, arguably, in Cody Bellinger. They have Corey Seager. They have Justin Turner. They have Max Muncy. They have Gavin Lux. They're going to have Will Smith behind the plate. They still got AJ Pollock. They still have that deep bench. Chris Taylor, Kike Hernandez, Beatty, Rios. They have so much talent, and they just added Mookie Betts, and they added David Price to their starting rotation. Now, their bullpen still isn't that great. Still has some holes in it, but adding Blake Treinen was a huge pickup, so that kind of almost made it okay, because yes, you're losing Kenta Maeda. You are gaining David Price, who, by the way, has not been a bad pitcher recently. We'll go over that a little more in detail, but you got Mookie Betts, an unbelievable player. Like, they have the number 1 and number 2 right fielder in baseball on their team. I'm sure Cody Bellinger's going to move to center field. Mookie plays right, or maybe they switch it around. I don't know. Bellinger has a cannon of an arm. Regardless, here's what the Dodgers are getting from an offensive standpoint with Mookie Betts. So last year was considered kind of like a down year for Mookie, and his numbers were still pretty good. Played 150 games, hit 29 homers, 40 doubles, and 5 triples, scored 135 runs, which led baseball, 80 RBIs, 16 stolen bases, walked 97 times, striking out 101, a 295 average with a 391 on base, 524 slugging, gave him an OPS above 900 at 915. We know he's gross in the field with the glove. And for his career, averages around 30 homers, 40 plus doubles a season, batting average above 300, on base approaching 400, slugging at 520, OPS at right around 900, and the last 2 years he has been way above those numbers pretty much. Combine that with his absolutely disgusting glove in right field. Wherever you play him, he's going to be great with the glove, but he is the best fielder in the outfielder in all of baseball with an elite bat. This is an insane pickup for the Dodgers. I mean, think of their lineup right now. Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, Gavin Lux, Max Muncy, AJ Pollock, Will Smith, the pitcher spot. Crazy. That's an unbelievable lineup. There's no weak spot in that lineup. The weak spot would be the young guys in Will Smith and Gavin Lux, and even then they have shown that they are very solid and capable hitters. Like, how do you pitch to this team? How do you handle the Los Angeles Dodgers? They were the favorites, obviously, to win the National League West, but they responded big time to the Diamondbacks grabbing some players, and they were like, hey, hold on a second. We're still kings out here. We are taking this division again. Mookie Betts, that's so huge. He had a down season last year, and he was still 8th in the MVP voting. He's a free agent the next season, so obviously that's the risk you're taking when you do this trade. You have no guarantees that he's with you the next year, but the Dodgers have shown in the past that they have no problem spending money. I mean, they spend money every single year. Why would they not spend money on Mookie Betts, especially having given up what they did, even though they really didn't give up that much? They gave up Alex Verdugo, who we'll talk about, but he's going to be a stud, and they gave up Kenta Maeda, who's a very capable pitcher. He has some really good stuff, and he pitched really well the last couple seasons, but their rotation's loaded often, so he almost sometimes gets relegated to the bullpen. So yeah, they picked up Mookie Betts. Incredible. That's huge for them. They also got David Price, which, like I said, hasn't actually been that bad of a pitcher like a lot of people say he's been. He's not living up to this $32 million a year hype on that contract. Like, that contract's absolutely crazy. But statistically, like, as long as he's not your ace, which he's definitely not going to be in Los Angeles, he's a really good starting pitcher. Since joining Boston, he's made just under 100 starts, appeared in 103 games, 46-24 record with a 3.84 ERA, a whip at 1.204, which is actually a little lower than I thought it would be, 609 strikeouts to 156 walks, has pitched almost 600 innings. His strikeout numbers for his career have gone up. Like, he's been a pretty decent pitcher, if not good, if anything. So the Dodgers not only grabbing Mookie Betts, but grabbing David Price, it strengthens their team even more. You're not just getting stronger on the offensive and defensive side, but the pitching is getting even stronger. That rotation now is super, super deep, even deeper than we once thought it was. Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, David Price, Alex Wood. You've got Dustin May, who can be another starter in that rotation. He's got disgusting stuff, young prospect, very talented. You've got Tony Gonsolin, who's in the minors, who's on his way up. He should be an MLB player by now. He's got really good stuff as well. Like, the Dodgers, they just don't mess up anywhere. Ever since they got the new ownership, this team has been on the up and up. They're run like a great organization. They make great moves. All they want to do is win. If you are a Dodgers fan, you are through the moon. All you gave up to get Mookie Betts and David Price was Alex Verdugo and Kenta Maeda. That is an absolute steal from the Dodgers perspective. Yes, it's only a one-year deal for Mookie, but you have a chance to go sign him next year. What's stopping you? Especially now, giving up players, you almost have to go for him even more. For the Red Sox, it's a little bit of a disappointing return. Now, the reason I say it's a little disappointing is not because I don't think Verdugo or Graterol are great players. I think those guys are going to be studs, and I'll tell you why. But I expected them to get a little bit more back. I expected maybe Tony Gonsolin to be thrown in there, or maybe another middle infield prospect, but they ended up only getting those two guys, but they should be excited about these two guys. You were losing Mookie. Mookie was gone. He was not coming back to the Red Sox this next season. At least with the current structure of how they were, he wasn't coming back. But you need to get something for him because you guys weren't winning the World Series this year. This wasn't a team that was able to win the World Series. You got a lot back for him considering you basically knew he wasn't coming back. And I don't necessarily want to say he's not coming back yet. I have this weird, like, conspiracy theory that Chaim Bloom pulled an ultimate heist here. He traded Mookie Betts to the Dodgers, traded them David Price to get that contract off the books because that's like $100 million over the next 3 years. So Mookie's contract's off the books. David Price is off the books. There's a lot of space opening up next year where maybe they can make a push for Mookie, which then you basically got Verdugo and Graterol for free. I think it's super out there. I'm well aware, but hey, listen, if it does happen, I'm going to take full credit for it. So Alex Verdugo, let's talk about him first off. Last year, didn't get a whole lot of playing time with the Dodgers. He played really well when he did. He had some injuries that kept him out, and then they kind of went with the hot bat, so he didn't get necessarily consistent playing time the entire season. But here's what he did in 2019. In 343 at-bats, Verdugo hit 12 homers, 22 doubles, and 2 triples, giving 44 RBIs, a 294 batting average with a 342 on base, 475 slugging, gave an OPS of 817. Super well-rounded player. Like, this guy does everything pretty well. He's not going to hit you 50 home runs like Pete Alonso. He's not going to be the fastest guy. He's not going to have the best arm, but he has plus tools at pretty much every single thing that you want in baseball. Good hitting for average, good hitting for power, great glove, good arm, good speed. He's an all-around, well-rounded player, and he is going to be a huge piece of that Boston Red Sox core for the years to come. This is a fantastic pickup. He is going to be huge in Boston. He's going to embrace the city. Your guys are going to love him if you're a Red Sox fan. The dude just plays super hard.
What team was like you rooting for? Who was your favorite player?
My favorite team was probably Boston Red Sox and the Arizona Diamondbacks. I grew up watching, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez.
Really good baseball player. This is a legitimate pickup for him. He is going to be a part of the future for the Red Sox for a very, very long time. Really like the addition of Alex Verdugo to their team, especially if you're losing Mookie Betts. In terms of Brusdar Graterol, oh man, this guy's exciting. He was actually going to be on one of my new videos talking about one prospect to watch in 2020. He was going to be my guy for the Twins. I like this guy a whole lot. He has some disgusting stuff. First off, fastball, he throws like 125 miles an hour. Throws absolute gas. He was the number 83 prospect in baseball for the 2020 season. Like I said, he has an 80 grade fastball. That's gross. And his slider is also pretty devastating. He also has a pretty crazy good sinker. He has about 3 good pitches. He still needs to develop a few more, but I really like this move for the Red Sox. Let's say he fails as a starter, which I think he's actually going to become a starter. He's going to be very effective. Something about him, it just feels like he's going to fit in perfectly with the Boston Red Sox. But let's just say he fails as a starter. You're going to get probably one of the more nasty relievers in the game because the stuff that he has as a starter is electric. Imagine when he only needs to throw 1 or 2 innings. How are you going to be able to hit this guy? So I really like the 2 players that they got. I thought that they should have tried to get more, but I have a feeling that giving up David Price, the Dodgers taking on some of that contract, it was pretty tough to try and get more prospects out of it because they are taking on a lot of money and a player that's going to be an expiring contract the next season. I think they should have got more, but the 2 guys that they got are legitimate pieces. Red Sox fans, unfortunately for you, it is not going to be a very great great season. I wouldn't necessarily call it a rebuilding season because they still have a loaded offense. I mean, they have some great bats there, but it's going to be a very, very tough season for them. Definitely not reminiscent of 2018 when they won the World Series. Much harder road ahead for them in 2020. And then the final team of this trade is going to be the Minnesota Twins, who got Kenta Maeda. Now, they gave up Brusdar, Graterol, which I guess they view him more probably as a reliever and they need starting pitching right now. And Kenta Maeda is going to help them out big time. Funny enough, Kenta Maeda, Rich Hill, back together again, this time in Minnesota. Pretty solid pitcher. Honestly, his numbers are extremely comparable to what David Price did in Boston in those 3 seasons. So if you're the Twins, you got Kenta Maeda and you're not paying him the David Price contract. That's a nice little pickup. Now, yes, you gave up Graterol, but in their eyes, I'm guessing they didn't see him as some of these other teams maybe view him. The biggest thing is going to be how many innings can he really throw? His rookie year threw 175, but since then he hasn't really gone above 150 too often. So that can be something to watch out for during the season. I'm not going to pretend like this is going to make them now the best team in the American League because that's definitely not it. But I think it's definitely an improvement because you don't know what you're getting with Graterol in 2020. You know with Kenta you're going to be getting probably about 140, 150 innings guaranteed. ERA hovering right around 4. Pretty decent pitcher. Whew. So that is pretty much the details for the Mookie Betts trade. So I'm going to check Twitter real quick while I'm talking to you here to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything because this news has been breaking like crazy. There's so much stuff going on. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So the Red Sox, they traded Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers. They got Alex Verdugo and Brusdar Graterol back, and the Twins got Kenta Maeda. Crazy stuff for such a late time at night. But we grinded out here for the videos for you guys. I hope you do enjoy it. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, leave a like. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. Remember to get involved in the comments down below. I love having a conversation with you guys. Tell me what you think about this trade. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in description. Gonna wrap up the video there. I need to edit this and get it out for you tonight so it's not too late. You guys know the drill. YouTube recommends you watch this video as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. The Dodgers are the team to beat in the National League, and it's gonna be a crazy season 2020. Bye.